The interesting part of why we're here, every single Democrat voted to stop one branch of government. They created this mess with 8 Republicans. Every single Democrat did that. And so I think what we'll do is we'll go sit down. We'll talk to those that have difference of opinion and come back.
Did the margin surprise you?
Excuse us.
Thank you.
Do you feel bad for Mr. Do you feel bad right now for Mr. Jordan? You threw your support for him. Do you feel bad for him?
No. Don't over read into this. This is about the same vote I had on my first vote out. Why we're in the let's go back to how it got here. We wouldn't be here if every single Democrat didn't vote with 8 Republicans to shut this place down. That's it. No,
Republicans voted against Jim Jordan today on the floor, including 2 votes from somebody who's not even a member anymore.
Every single Democrat and 8 Republicans voted to shut down one branch of government. That is why we're here today. There's no other reason why we're here today but because of that. Now we had a vote on the floor. It didn't get to the whole point. Now we'll take a break, talk to people, and come back and solve it.
So how long? Is this going to be today?
When even the Fox reporter calls you out on your lame talking points, you know you've probably lost the plot. Here, Kevin McCarthy actually tries to blame his party's inability to govern on the Democrats, claiming that because all of the Democrats joined a handful of Republicans in voting against him, that they were primarily responsible for the chaos that we're seeing right now. Only few things here. First off, it is not the Democrats' responsibility to vote for a Republican speaker. The Republicans have a majority in the House. And so here's an idea, and I'm just shooting from the hip here, so bear with me. Instead of relying on the Democrats to do their jobs for them, maybe the Republicans should use the majority that they have to elect a speaker from their own party. Correct me if I'm wrong, but the Democrats had the exact same size majority in the last Congress, and yet they didn't need to grovel for Republican votes. They figured out a speaker candidate, voted for her, and got on with the business of governing. So maybe the issue here isn't that the minority party didn't come to rescue you. Maybe the issue here is that the majority party has a fundamental inability to govern. Just, for starters. And by the way, these are also the points that AOC made during our recent interview.
Almost never in the history of the House of Representatives has a party voted for the other party's speaker. That is not part of the function, tradition, or even structure of the House of Representatives. In fact, one would say that part of the essential structure of the party structure is to elect your own party speaker. And so, of course, every Democrat is going to vote for Hakeem Jeffries to be Speaker of the House, and it is the Republican responsibility to elect the Republican speaker. But even taking a step beyond that, for folks who say, why can't we, meet in the middle or cut a deal? Kevin McCarthy didn't even try. He at no point asked Democrats to vote for him, tried to negotiate anything for there to be some sort of coalition government. It really seemed that this expectation, frankly, that Democrats would vote for Republicans was something that was learned after the fact.
Obviously, the indication that they're trying to give is that surely if Republicans were in the minority and they had to vote for a speaker, that they would vote to protect Hakeem Jeffries and not vote to elect somebody in the Republican Party, right?
I mean, let's be real. Do we really think any Republican would have voted for Nancy Pelosi for Speaker of the House? That kind of answers the question right there.
What do you say to the pro-McCarthy Republicans who say Democrats are just as responsible for the chaos now as Matt Gaetz is?
Well, I think that Democrats tried to save Republicans from themselves. There was this entire rule that allowed for one member of the House to try to kick out the Speaker of the House was something that was adopted by Republicans in January of this year. Every single Democrat voted against this rule. We said this is bad for the institution. This is not going to be good for you all. And they didn't listen. They voted for this. They put this structure into place. And, all we can say is that we tried. We did try.
The point being, yet again, it's not the Democrats' responsibility to save Republicans from themselves. Republicans ostensibly wanted a majority in the House. They got it. If they can't figure out how to govern with that majority, that's not the Democrats' fault. It's their own. They claim to be the party of personal responsibility. Maybe it's time they start taking some. So what happens next? Because Jim Jordan failed to secure enough votes to become Speaker, there will be another vote tomorrow morning starting at 11 a.m. Eastern. By the way, I'll be live streaming that vote from my YouTube channel, so if you're not yet subscribed and you want to follow along, then please make sure to subscribe. So the onus will be on Jordan to claw back all but 4 of those 20 Republicans who opted not to vote for him on the first ballot. My prediction is that if Jordan's vote tally exceeds 200 on the second ballot, then he and his allies will continue to pressure the holdouts, probably threatening primary challenges against any moderates, until he actually reaches the number he needs. But on the flip side, if his vote tally falls below 200 on the second ballot, then we're likely to see more defections, considering Jordan's viability as a speaker candidate will become unlikely, and once he loses momentum, he'll be hard-pressed to get it back. And to that point, according to Jake Sherman from Punchbowl News, most of the 20 who voted against Jordan met after the vote, and most of them are sticking with their opposition to the Ohio Republican, which, again, would bode really poorly for Jim Jordan, because at this point, if he's not moving forward, then he's moving backwards. Momentum is everything, and Jim Jordan absolutely knows that, which is why what happens in this second vote is crucial and will likely determine his fate in the House. There has been talk, however, of some type of bipartisan solution. According to NBC's Sahil Kapoor, Hakeem Jeffrey says there are informal conversations happening about a bipartisan path forward to reopen the government that he says will accelerate after recent events. Is that about a temporary speaker or permanent? All options are on the table, he says. Of course, that flies in the face of what Jim Jordan is saying, which is that the Republican conference is adamantly opposed to any type of a deal with the Democrats.
Are you going to stay in the race?
We're making progress. I feel good about it. We're going to keep going. I've had great conversations, great discussions with our colleagues, and frankly, no one in our conference wants to see any type of coalition government with Democrats. So we're going to keep working, and we're going to get to the votes.
And granted, of course Jim Jordan is going to say that, because any deal with the left would undermine the power that Jordan is seeking to consolidate for himself. And if we've learned anything about extremist Republicans, it's that their first, second, and third priority is taking power and never letting go. But regardless of what ultimately happens, the fact that Jim Jordan is currently in serious contention to be third in line to the presidency is as damning an indictment of the Republican Party as you could possibly find. This is a far-right extremist who helped Donald Trump in his efforts to overturn the last election. He has passed 0 legislation during his almost 2 decades in Congress. He has authored draconian bills like a nationwide abortion ban, and he's best known for reportedly helping cover up the sexual abuse perpetuated by a teen doctor while he was an assistant wrestling coach at Ohio State University. And yet this is the best the Republicans could do? This is who they want representing their party? If you were looking for evidence to prove the rot pervading the GOP, this is exactly what that is. Before you go, I need some help. Please subscribe to this channel and do your part to help grow the progressive media ecosystem. I don't do sponsorships or paid ads, I won't ask for money, but just subscribing to this channel goes a really long way, and it helps get the message out to more people. The subscribe button is right here on this screen. You can also subscribe to my Spanish language channel, which I made to reach those crucial Spanish-speaking voters. That link is on the screen too. And finally, if you want to listen to my audio podcast, you can follow that link as well. Thanks so much for watching.